Can you achieve all that you want to achieve by being a team member? Or do you need to be a solo agent, or do you need to build your own team?
Okay, so I'm part of a teamridge.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's a good term. I'm just saying that's what people...
But here's the challenge. I don't think most real estate agents, I don't think that they recognize how much time they spend on those money-making activities.
Tyler, you're on a team.
Uh-huh.
Tell me about your real estate team.
So I belong to a small independent brokerage here in Utah, and there's 10 or 12 agents, and they are all full-time agents, and but the entire brokerage is run like a team. So my broker, she
a teamridge is what they're calling those.
Teamridge?
A teamridge. Yeah.
That's really what people are calling it?
Yeah, brokerage that operates more like a team with closer to where the team leader, the broker, is providing much more of the infrastructure and overhead and supplying leads and with more of a team split on different things. So a lot of independents are doing that, which is crazy because 20 years ago that's what it felt like.
Yeah,
that's what it felt like. A brokerage is and there was always the couple of the big box ones that were like, hey, just pay us a fee and hang your license here and we won't really provide a lot. But a lot of the independents are going to a teamridge model where they're doing that.
I've not heard that term. Okay, so I'm part of a teamridge.
Yeah,
based on that description.
I'm not saying it's a good term. I'm just saying that's what people are calling it.
There are a couple of admins and TCs as part of the office and as part of the team. And the idea is there's certain tasks that those admins and those TCs are trained to do and to do well and to do efficiently, and then there's things that the agents are trained to do well and to do efficiently. And really, what it comes down to is the agents make money for the team and for themselves when they are in front of people and not doing admin work. I mean, that's ideally, isn't that the way that we want all teams to work?
I mean, don't you think that a lot of agents procrastinate or avoid doing money-making activities by filling their time with administrative work anyway? Oh, even on a team.
Oh, 100%, right? Yeah. I mean,
why do we do that? I mean, that's not just a real estate bad habit. It's all of us get caught up doing things where if we step back and go, is this actually going to move the needle?
But here's the challenge. I don't think most real estate agents, I don't think that they recognize how much time they spend on those money-making activities, right? So, or those non-money-making activities, excuse me. And you recommended a book to me that I've been reading recently, and in that there's this exercise where you go through and you time block every 15 minutes of your day, right? And then you go back and there's some analyzation about all of that. And in reality, I think if you took an agent and time blocked and wrote down everything they did in 15 minutes, I think they themselves would look back and be like, holy crap, I wasted a ton of time today. Yeah. But we just don't recognize because in the moment, we're caught up on what's urgent in that moment, right, rather than important long-term.
Well, the question was posed to us, we're talking a lot about team leaders. We're helping facilitate team leaders with supplying their team with leads and prospecting tools and things. But the majority of agents are not team leaders. The majority of agents are team members, or they're independent solo agents, right? Yeah. You have solo agents, you have team members, and a lot of teams operate like solo agents and, different splits. But regardless of what we call it, the question is how do I participate in a team and be successful and be productive as a member of a team rather than the team leader?
I think joining a team as a team member, I think there's some things that you have to ask yourself first, and there's some things you have to ask of that team lead before maybe making that jump. And the first is, what do I hope to accomplish by joining a team? Like, what is it that I'm trying to get out of this? And if it's just resources, then I would say you should question whether or not you need that team to provide you the resources and whether or not you could do that on your own.
Yeah.
If it's training,
get it from ChatGPT.
right? If it's training that you need, I would question very, very specifically and very candidly what that team lead is doing to develop his or her agents. Because I know a lot of team leaders that they themselves want to be out of production, which would lead you to believe that it means they want to be in leadership, but really what they want to do is they don't want to work. And I don't mean that critically. I mean it like this is they want their agents to figure it out on their own.
Right. Well, we did a survey, and team leaders on average had less than 3 hours. This is the average of hundreds of team leaders had less than 3 hours a week to devote to helping their team members to figure out how to get their business. Yet when we surveyed team members, the majority of them joined a team because they felt like that was the best place to start to learn success habits and get mentorship in order to do this. So there's this huge discrepancy between what a team leader is actually providing, what a team member's expectations are. And so I think it's great advice that you got to really interview the team to understand what is it they provide. But it's the same reason why we started training all of the agents on our team customers team, right?
Yeah.
Because they didn't have the time to do it themselves. So we said, you know what, let us go through our boot camps and our prospecting and help the agents get listings. So the team leader can check that box and focus on their own production if that's where they're at.
Yeah, and the reality is I think that has been one of the biggest things that's appealed to the team leaders, right? Is yes, they want to provide leads, they want to provide tools to market to those leads. But the moment we go, and we'll take on the training. We'll make sure that your agents can leverage this tool and this investment that you're making as the team lead. That for many of them is like, really, you will? Right? And it's not just system, it's not just training about the tool, it's actual prospecting tips. It's actual tactical, implementable training that will help people to be successful. I mean, we've got almost 20 years in the business doing this. We've learned it. No, we have more than 20 years. and we've learned a thing or two. Yeah. And so it's cool that we've put that together to be able to pass that on.
We're a little tangential right now, but so that never happens.
No.
Let me bring it back and ask, I think what a lot of team members were asking or trying to ask. Can you achieve all that you want to achieve by being a team member? Or do you need to be a solo agent, or do you need to build your own team?
I think the question is what are you hoping to accomplish? And
well, let me just give you the answer there. I think people are trying to I think people are trying to accomplish massive amounts of GCI. Let's just put it there.
All
right?
Fair.
I mean, they just want to make lots of money and have freedom and not have a boss and all the reasons people get into real estate. So is it, or maybe my question is better, is it easier to achieve that whether you're on a team or whether, or do you need to aspire to be an individual agent and take on all that responsibility and maybe build a team yourself?
Yeah, so there's the ideal answer and then there's reality, right?
Okay.
Is because here's the truth is I know myself better than anybody knows me. And whether or not I'm honest with myself really matters. And when it comes down to it, I know if I lay out the task ahead of me to earn massive amounts of GCI as a solo agent, I know whether or not I'm actually going to execute. Deep down, I can look at that task list and go, I'm just not going to do 40, 50, 60, 70% of these things because either I don't have the knowledge or the skill, or I'm too lazy to work it or whatever. And in some situations like that, it might make sense and it might be more profitable for somebody to join a team if the team can fill those gaps. And I look at a team as a way of automating certain steps of our processes, of our SOPs, our systems, is if the team is not giving me my time back to focus on the things that make me money, being in front of people, presenting, prospecting, previewing, right? If I'm not doing those things, then it might not be worth it to be on that team.
No, I think that's a great way to look at it. I mean, any investment of your time. So if you're giving a split of your commission to a team, it's an investment, and it's always about the ROI. It's always about, am I getting more than I'm putting in this investment? That's the same with REDX tools. Like, if you're not going to use them, guess what? They're not going to put commission in your bank account, so maybe not worth the money.
Yeah.
But if you put a little bit of effort in, there's massive amounts of opportunity there. And so what are you doing with the ROI? It's the same thing when people talk about saving money, and okay, well, you could save money, but what are you doing with that saved money? Is there really an ROI, or are you putting it back in investment? So if you're saving time, where are you putting that time back? Because if it just means, and that could be, more time with your family and your kids, and great, then that's the ROI, the measurement of success there. But, we have a friend, Kent, who is often in here filming with us, who has achieved what I would say numbers in the top 10 percentile, top 5, 3, 2
Probably.
percentile of all real estate agents out there in terms of GCI, and he's on a team. And, we should have him in here and ask him these questions, because he'll tell you, I don't want to be a team leader. Like, I don't want to do those things. I don't want to hold other people accountable. I don't want to, have the burden of that on my shoulders of doing that. And so what does he do? He grinds. Right now he's doing the challenge of 1,000 dials a day for 100 days, 100,000 phone calls. What does he do? He got 7 listings in the first 22 days. And I don't know what he's up to now. It's been a couple more weeks, but that's what he does best. Let all of the rest of the team resources take care of all the other systems and SOPs and getting that listing, marketed and dealing with the paperwork and all of those things.
Yeah, I think the real benefit of belonging to a smoothly operating, high functioning team is that my role as a sales agent should be to bring in contracts and pass those off to the people on the team that handle the administration and coordination of those contracts. Yeah. And if everything's running smoothly, that allows me to then turn and focus my time on getting more contracts, and then only getting involved when the admin or the TC says you need to be involved for this reason, right? And so it should, a high functioning team should allow me to focus on bringing into contracts, bringing in clients.
Money-making activities.
Yep.
Awesome. Before we wrap up, I just want to point out, what we've learned in the last 6 months or so is that team is such a weird word in the real estate business. It means a million different things to a million different people. And so I think not to put team in a box. A team you could be a solo agent. There's a lot of solo agents out there that say I'm a solo agent, and they've got a TC, and they've got 2 admins, and they've got
an ISA.
Their photographer, even if it's a contract. But that's a form of team, right? Yeah. And so I wouldn't discredit or ignore a lot of the advice because we're using the word team. It's the same thing that we're talking about. If you have another user on your account, or you have an admin that you have doing certain activities, it's the same principles. It's about the ROI, and it's about buying back your time, and it's about the systems and processes that bring in the most amount of results.
Yep.
So if you want to know about our team solution, whether you're a team or you're a solo agent with admins or ISAs, or you share prospecting tools or marketing tools with other agents in your office, click on the link below and schedule a demo.